I want to talk about a philosophy that I love to bring into relationships, and found that this single piece is what we all do that brings a level of longevity into our relationship. Some people call it forgiveness, and I call it nonlinear temporality. So, nonlinear is that there is no, that at any given moment, past, present, and future is all accessible within this given moment, and they all exist simultaneously. And the temporality is the harnessing of the harnessing of the energy of the moment being only there for that moment, and to not hold on to it as being finite and that it is limited to that. It's temporary. And so this concept in relationship is beautiful because it allows individuals or couples to go through huge transformations within a relationship and to reset the game of that relationship so it can be reborn again, be renewed. For instance, in a video game, when you die and you have multiple lives, you're respawned, reborn anew to become, to have another chance, to take another risk, and to bring longevity to this video game. So you can, the part of the game is to achieve the conquering or the end of the game, the final boss, or to win. And in relationship, it's not to win, but to gain the trust, to gain the longevity of a relationship, to come to that oneness, to that still point. And I love that theory of the still point too, for it is the moment in love where everything falls away, where a moment of eye gazing, looking into your partner's eyes, becomes the only universe available in that moment. And that is that non-linear, that time freezes, and then that moment feels finite, but it is just an extended version of that continuous moment. It is what we call time standing still. So the nonlinear temporality in a relationship allows us to fail, to die, and to allow forgiveness is to allow a resetting of that game, to come back into what you've built up to that moment and to continue down the path of what has already been in existence. It's the longevity of a relationship, and the amount of times you're able to overcome difficult things gives you more lives. And the more lives that you gain along the way in relationships actually give you more opportunities to correct, course correction of things that did not work for yourself, for the other, or for the relationship. And a lot of relationships look at issues as, oh, you did this, and then you did this, and then you did that. And over the past 5 years, you've had 4 or 5 issues, and it's built up for me. And I am no longer available to be in this relationship. So they let it go. And they don't see all that they've built actually gaining the energy to overcome more conflict. So they run away from it, or they let go, or they don't know how to stand in the, what I like to say, standing in the fire of the difficultness. And this has become a lot more normalized in relationships as polyamory is more accessible, dating apps creating creating these abilities to have vast amounts of resources in the dating pool. So it's easy to be like, oh, this is difficult, I'm just going to move on to the next relationship. I'm just going to swipe right and go on the next date, and allow ourselves to just be in the ease of it, and let go of the difficultness, which is where overcoming and knowledge is gained. is in those difficult emotions, in those difficult times. So because of this, we see that we no longer need to work on the problems. Back in the days, it was almost like when you dated someone or you married someone, you're stuck with that person. So there was almost a hierarchy in that. So that didn't work. So the problem solving also didn't quite go as well. But if we took away the hierarchy of the relationship and allow people to still have a level of commitment to what has been created up until that moment, and see that I am willing to continuously to work on this project, this relationship, this love, we see that what we're building is beyond even the relationship itself and has an energy that radiates out into the world that actually attracts others to do the same. We become that beacon of hope in relationship to be the highest form of utopia that we see as possible in the world. And when we look at an issue between you and me, and we see that there's nothing else around for me to run away to or to lean into or to have my desires met, I am able to set my energy of what I truly desire, want, and need and make it clear to you. And therefore, together, we are able to work and build to create of what we've been wanting. Say, for instance, we have an issue, everything in our relationship's beautiful, and we have a part of something that's not being met, a sexual desire or a way that we connect in that lovemaking or even moments of time freezing that we don't gain in this relationship. But I find that in somebody else. That's beautiful. That's amazing. And the ability in the polyamory world is like, yes, learn and discover what you want and desire. And that is beautiful. And maybe I am not able to create that for you. And that's the beautiful part of being able to be a free spirit and find these aspects in other people, because we're not everything. And the opportunity to the commitment is to bring what you found as being a beautiful aspect of your desires or something that you found to be very important to you, and bring it into this relationship and create it for what is here, and see if that person is able to see that you are so much power is created in that moment that that partner is willing to create that with you. And this is beautiful. This is the evolution. This is evolutionary relating. This is letting go of, you don't meet my needs, I found it somewhere else, I'm going to go somewhere else and be with it. And I found a need that I'm not feeling with you. And I'm curious if you're willing to go on a journey with me. If you're willing to step into that nonlinear temporality, and instead of me running away or feeling that you failed me, and actually create it between us, is the next evolution relationships I'm looking for. Yeah. Love is infinite, and it is everywhere, and it is different, and it's constantly changing and growing. And love never dies, it just changes. And our inability to allow it to change is where we fail ourselves to have our desires met. And when we decide to take our lives, our love into our hands and trust another individual to hold that in reverence and beauty as much as we do for ourselves, to see that this is extremely important to me and fragile, that we create the oneness with another individual that allows us to grow in a new way of relating that has not even been conceptualized yet, that may not have ever been felt yet. And when we create that, we bring it into the world, making it available for everyone else to do. Once something has been created in the mind, it can be created in reality. I believe this is true. I believe that you do not fail in relationship, but you grow and learn. And when you're willing to take radical responsibility for places that you are not at your best for, you might not have had the tools to navigate those difficult seas of love. And I bring in this nonlinear temporality, this forgiveness into our heart space and reopen the fragility of my heart to show you the importance of what I feel can be created. We reestablish trust and we get in the boat again together. I love you, and I don't want to lose you. I want to ride this ship until the end. And in the moment that I'm unable to meet these edges of my own box, or you, is the moment that we let go of the relationship. But I am willing to expand beyond territories I've ever known existed. Are you willing to sail with me?